What up, y'all? It's Season Love, SENLUV, that's who I be, and welcome to another episode of the Money Healing Monologues. Over here at the Money Healing Monologues, I like to open up a space to speak about the development of Black wealth, health, and excellence. So, join me every single Monday where I like to reiterate, reteach, and dissect some shit that I just think us as a Black community should speak about. And of course, the purpose of this is to open up a conversation. So please feel free to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if I ruffle some feathers. Comment down below and let me know what's tea. So, damn, today's Monday again. And I've been gone for the past couple of Mondays since my episode at the beginning of April. But I think that I'm going to choose to do these episodes once a month because I just feel like I'm growing into a place where I want more time to develop my points, and especially, not only helping make the episodes longer, but also to give myself the room to actually explain myself. I feel like I'm just stepping into a point of my creative career where I can actually be intentional and slow down a bit, and that's probably Mercury retrograde also talking right now. I don't know when you're listening to this, but right now we're in Mercury retrograde. Yeah, once a month. I'm thinking the first Monday of every month I'll do an episode of the Money Healing Monologues. And then, that gives me the whole entire month to, figure out what I want to talk about and actually explain myself. Because I feel like the format that I chose, who, what, where, when, why, and how is really efficient. I just think that it could be more and I could elaborate way more than I have been doing. But yeah, we're all about expanding, taking up more space. And speaking of taking up more space, the Money Healing Monologues is now on Instagram and TikTok, so you can go and follow our social media pages. I'm still in the process of figuring out exactly what type of content I want to post on there besides like promotion for the podcast. But yeah, you can find us over there, find me over there. And yeah, I'd love to talk to you guys in the comments and the DMs. So for real, tap in, As you know, and if you don't, I like to go down who, what, where, when, why, and how format. And the how will always be a question that is down below in the description if you're listening in on YouTube, and in the question box if you're listening in on Spotify, Anchor, or Apple Podcasts. Starting me off with my who, I asked, who creates a social construct? Humans. And I think that it's a way for us to make sense of things, and this is like where labels come in, what I'm saying? Even the label human, it's a social construct is a way for all of us to collectively identify everything. Like I know that I'm recording on a camera and everybody else knows that I'm recording on a camera and I'm recording through a mic. These things had names and we all believe in those names, so that's what we call it. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody named it and said, hey, this is what this is called. And that goes for items, mindsets, habits, traits, like literally everything. In a way, maybe everything is a social construct now that I think about it. Categories, labels, Move me into my what, I ask, what is a social construct? So getting into the exact definition, a social construct exists because humans basically create an association to this said thing, right? And the reason that it exists is because a large group of people believe that it exists. A good amount of individuals believe in a certain thing that puts energy towards it, which then helps it manifest into the reality. A social construct I guess in a more literal term would be, I guess, our phones. We've created an association to our devices to a point where it's common and it's believed that everybody has a phone, because it's a way to contact people. Of course, there's importance behind the social construct of a device. Moving me into my where, I ask, where do we see social constructs being projected in real time? So that example that I gave of our devices, that's a more literal example. Through the media, social constructs that have been projected onto us. So social constructs more so in the aspect of labeling people as certain things, different labels that we put on certain people, like, this is a black person, this is a white person. These are all social constructs. Because if we all didn't believe in race in general or gender in general, we would all just be individuals on this planet, But in order for humans to make sense of things, they put labels and said this is this and this is that so that they can tell the difference. Through the media is where we see it being like projected in real time, like the different types of shows that we would watch that would have the specific type of characters, like shows that we grew up on, you feel me? I feel like for any generation, we have a set of shows that we just grew up on, like we grew up with those shows. I'm thinking of Martin for some reason. I feel like everybody can relate to watching Martin, and if you don't, then okay, I mean, maybe you should go watch Martin because it's a good fucking show. I guess we can say that's a show that projects a certain narrative like every other show does, because that's what, I guess in some ways film is, media is, it's projecting a certain reality, a certain universe, a certain circumstance, in order to portray an emotion to an audience. Using Martin as an example, we can see that, through the media, there's certain stereotypes or just things that become normalized because of the shows that we consume and what these shows are projecting in their dialogue and everything that makes a show, like everything is very intentional in order to portray a specific thing to an audience. But my point of this where and where we see it is that certain things can become normalized because of media, because so many shows, depicted black people as or in a certain way. The consumers, the audience, which is ultimately the people that we're around on our day-to-day basis, our community, has preconceived notions embedded within them already. It poses the question of like, are our opinions really rooted in our true authentic like expression, or is it rooted in the things that were projected onto us because of media? Because I feel like when media and music is so powerful because it taps into the subconscious, and people that make media, that make any type of video content or content in general, or make music, know that like there's a certain amount of intention that's put behind it in order to portray a certain thing to people. It's just a matter of who's behind that power, and of course I believe in the point of why the Money Healing Monologues exist is that the people that were able to have the power to create these social constructs and to normalize the certain things that are normalized now. Like, I believe that homelessness is normalized, especially in NYC. Like, nobody, like, it's just like a social construct. Like, people just be homeless. Why people be homeless? Because he probably don't got no money. He broke. Why is he broke? Because he can't get a job. Damn. Why can't he get a job? I don't know. Most likely, what the most common thing is, like, people be on drugs. And that itself is a social construct as well. And, like, I just feel like our community, our people we have just been conditioned to believe a lot of shit so that it kind of blinds us from the truth of the circumstance. Like with that homelessness example, like we all just believe that people can be homeless. Like now we live in a reality where it's possible for people to be homeless, when in an ideal reality, and what, you know, would be morally correct in my opinion, is for homelessness to be a non-negotiable. Like, no, there's no reality where anybody can be homeless, because everybody deserves basic necessities. And I feel like this simple shift in mindset is so difficult because of the social constructs that have been embedded within all of us. So we all believe this certain thing, and it's hard to get a big group of people to stop believing in one thing and to believe in another thing, especially when that thing doesn't affect them directly, or it doesn't mean that much to them, or it's not something that they ever even had to think of. Moving me into my when, I asked, when can we experience the effects of a social construct? I feel like, of course, you know, there's a duality to social constructs. Like money is a social construct, and that's a good one to put some duality, to give some duality in an example for how we can experience the effects of a social construct. So money exists because all of us believe that it exists. You know what I'm saying? Somebody came up with the idea and everybody was like, oh shit, yeah, nah, yeah, that you're thinking, bro, like that makes a lot of sense. We should do that. We should do that. And then everybody started believing it, and now we have to use money in order to gain currency. It's another way to gain currency. You know, we can think back in the day when we was bartering and trading and all that good shit. But now money is a form of value because we all believe in it, of course. You know, and while that's an amazing thing, you know, the duality of how we can experience the effects of having money is when you have it, you know, you can get the things that you need, but when you don't have it, you can't get the things that you need. And I feel like that's a problem. But you're telling me if people run out of money, you can't get what you need. You can't get what you want. And a lot of people suffer from like a poverty. You know what I'm saying? We live in a nation where, you know, money is made on the backs of people that aren't making any money. You know, and that's the social construct in itself, as far as like people have to be down in order for other people to get up. Why do we believe that we have to step on other people's backs in order to get ahead? Why don't we feel as if there's enough resources to delegate for every single breathing, living vessel on this planet? Because Mother Nature, God, has just made us so abundant in that way. You know? It's almost like we were purposely conditioned to have a lack mindset in general. Because if you really look at the things that us as a society believes in, I would say that, me personally, I feel like we're not pouring our energy into the right things. And it moved me into my why. Why does this matter? Why do we talk about this? Why am I talking about this right now? Why am I chatting y'all ears off about social constructs and taking y'all through the loops of like how a social construct could be a social construct and then a social construct isn't? It's a lot, I know. But I believe that this is important because I hope to show you and to inspire people by letting them know that we have the power. We can believe in whatever reality we want to believe in. We just have to free our minds in order to achieve that as a community. Another social construct I feel like is hyper-individualism. Feel me? You have that one-track mindset. Go to school, go to college, get that dream job, you know, get married, have a kid, you know, like even down to like, you know, just the conditioning of like having one spouse and having, you know, a certain amount of kids by this certain age. And, you know, like all of that, all of those are social constructs that we choose to believe in. And I feel like releasing ourselves from that looks like breeding a society where we can allow everybody to be the actual individuals that they are and to be free within that individual unique expression. I don't think we've ever been able to truly, genuinely allow people to reside in their own energy without having to maybe worry about a projected opinion or, society's constructs and social norms and, what the media is telling you and what this TikToker is telling you how to get your life together and all of these things that are just being projected on us on a day-to-day basis. And that's why I make the content that I make, because I just feel like we just need more real shit on the media. Oh my gosh, just some more real shit, more authentic shit, more real people doing real shit, and talking about actual real shit, At the end of the day, these are all just things that we're choosing to believe in. And once we stop believing in it, and if it's a big amount of people, because it doesn't even have to be, and that's why we have certain, different communities and different, groups and organizations and things like that, because those are social constructs in themselves. Those group of people came together to think, to make this thing happen, make this event happen, or make this something manifest into reality. That was able to come together because of collective consciousness, because that group of people chose to believe in that certain thing so that it can manifest. I've been feeling called to talk a little bit more about manifestation in my other segment, Season Lifestyle, on my YouTube channel. That's where I kind of talk about more of my spiritual shit and things like that. But now for the how, which will be a question always, that is down below in the description if you're listening in on YouTube, and in the question box if you're listening in on Spotify, Anchor, or Apple Podcast. My question for this week would be, what's a social construct that gets you tight? What's a social construct that pisses you off so bad? And of course, I will answer the question. A social construct that really gets me tight: school is the only way to get an education. I feel like once people hear that you're not in school, like you're not in college or anything like that, then you're just not learning anything. You're a dunce. You're crazy. What are you doing with your life? Oh my gosh. How are you gonna know da-da-da? And I respect that so much, especially as a Black woman, because my ancestors were deprived of education for so many years and years and years and years. So trust me when I say that I understand the importance of needing to feed my mind, my body, and my soul with positive and nurturing things. But I just think in today's society right now, there's so much pressure put behind having to go to these institutions and pay all of this money in order to get an education when not everybody learns the same, and not everybody can afford those institutions. And that's just not the only way. It's not the only way. I can say from when I left high school, when I graduated high school, I have learned something new every fucking day. I'm just always absorbing and learning and growing. You're never ever gonna stop learning. Just because you don't go to school doesn't mean that you're just that part of your brain is just gonna stop, absorbing shit. School is not the only way to pack information into your brain, especially if you're a passionate person, a creative person, a person that wants to just make or do or be. That's why I feel like being a creative is just being and doing, creating, actually, You for sure, if you want to do something, you're going to go and do the research to do that thing, to make that thing, to manifest that thing into your current reality, It's just all a matter of you believing in it, and then that's a mini little social construct in itself too, because the reason that your creations exist is because you believed in it, you put intention towards it, you put your energy towards it. Think of your energy as water. Whatever you pour your energy into grows. So if you pour your energy into negativity, then that's what's going to grow. If you pour your energy into positivity, then that's what's going to grow. It's all about being intentional about that. And that's why I feel like it's important to be intentional about the social constructs that we believe in. Because we could be just repeating cycles. And I feel like as a society, we are repeating cycles simply because of the same shit that we all decide to collectively believe in. On that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of the Money Healing Monologues. I really appreciate you for being here. I would really love to know your answer to the question down below in the comments. Any other questions, comments, or concerns, definitely comment them down below. Also, we are now on Instagram and TikTok, so you can go follow our social media platforms. I will be posting short form content on there as well, so I would really love to see you guys' comments, and support, because I want to know, because I don't really get to see, who watches and, tunes into the podcast. So, I wanted to open up more channels to, talk to you guys, So, yeah. But, yeah, don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the podcast, and I'm going to see you guys next time, all right?